Hi again. Now, I'd just like to say this to all you Derren Brown fans out there, who agree with Derren Brown that basically, pretty much, ghosts do not exist, and there is no actual hard evidence out there that proves the existence of ghosts. Because I've mentioned this in another video, but Derren Brown, as you all probably know, did a TV show on Channel 4 recently, allegedly where he was investigating a paranormal investigator to see if he could come up with any evidence which would convince him that ghosts were real, and not just in his mind, or the evidence was caused by other things, more natural explanation, shall we say. Now, I've got a challenge to all you Derren Brown fans out there who just like to come on YouTube and leave comments for people like me telling us that we're full of shit, shall we say. Ghosts don't exist, we're paranoid, crazy and all the rest of it. Those sort of comments, you can't really say that, you know, unless you've actually gone out somewhere and done some of your own investigating. You have to really look into this yourself to try and find out if these things are real or not. Do your own research. You can't just sit there without having done any investigating yourself, not looked into any of this stuff, and just sit there and say ghosts aren't real because you haven't seen or heard any. I've had a few experiences myself. Some of them were quite surprising, shall we say. And you know, when something you can't see, for instance, is throwing things at you, it can be quite nerve-wracking, shall we say, a bit shocking like. And I've had that happen to me a couple of times where objects has been thrown at me, and this was like late on at night, out in the middle of the countryside, where there was not another soul around anywhere. So, I would say to you Derren Brown fans, the ones that do not believe ghosts are real and you think it's a load of bullshit, go out, get a camcorder or a digital voice recorder or something that records sound and video, and go out somewhere to possible places where activity allegedly takes place and do your own investigations and see what you come back with. You don't have to go to places that cost you money. You can go around your local area. I do this. There's places with a lot of history which are outside. You can just wander around the place and just record at your own free will and see what you get or what you don't get. It's worth having a try before coming on here and insulting people just because they believe in something that you don't, and in some cases they actually have evidence of it that none of yous will believe. No matter what evidence we come up with, you'll just say it's bull, basically. But I'll tell you this much. For instance, EVPs. If you take a digital audio recorder out, right, to a location, you ask questions with the recorder running, and then when you play that recording back and you hear what sounds like voices, right, and you didn't hear any voices at the time, that doesn't necessarily mean that the recording has voices because it was radio waves or some sort of interference. Because I've done tests on this, right? I've went to lots of locations, and at some of those locations, no matter how many times I go there, how many recordings I make, or how long I record for, I get absolutely nothing. No voices, no interference, no radio waves. Just me talking and no voices answering back. But then again, I go to other places, right, where every time, pretty much without fail, I get some sort of voices which appear to be answering us back. So if this was just radio waves and interference, how on earth can I get these recordings at a certain location and then at other locations get nothing? I would say that's because there wasn't any paranormal activity or spirits, ghosts or anything of that nature at the other locations. That's what I think. Because, for instance, the place where I get the most recordings of EVPs around here just happens to be an old cokeworks site that was demolished years ago, and it has a lot of history. And also it's right next to a railway line where there's been a lot of suicides and accidents, etc. So I believe that has got something to do with it. So remember this: if you want to find out if ghosts are real or not, instead of just assuming that people like me are lunatics and paranoid, go out and try and get some of your own evidence and see what you get. It's worth a try. You might be surprised. Anyway, I'm not trying to have a go at anyone. I'm just trying to, put my point across, because all too often people just call you names and use personal insults against people who believe in ghosts and actually investigate them without doing any research or investigations themselves. Okay? Anyway, thanks for watching, and bye for now.